Dry chicken is almost equivalent to eating a Popeye's biscuit with no drink, and I know you know better. We not doing that. So let me show you how I get my chicken breast juicy, tender, full of flavor every single time. Before I show you what to do, we're gonna go over why your chicken most likely keeps betraying you. We just gonna get that out the way first. The #1 culprit is cooking it too long. Chicken breasts are very lean. It is no fat to save you. So once you overcook that chicken, it's a wrap. Your heat is too aggressive. Y'all know how y'all call some people heavy-handed? Some people are really heat heavy. They turn the heat up high on everything they cook, and that's not a good thing. And when you do that, you're causing your chicken to burn. So that outside is going to be done way before the inside even finishes. You're not evening out your chicken breast. When you don't take the time to even out your chicken breast, it's going to cook unevenly. You're going to have a side that's fat and undercooked, and then you're going to have a skinny side that's dry and overcooked. Not seasoning it properly. Now, this is a big one because we want it to be juicy, but we also want it to have flavor. So not seasoning your chicken breast correctly is going to cause it to just be bland. And who wants bland chicken breast? Not me. Cutting into that chicken too early or using a fork or a knife to poke in it to check if it's done. I don't want y'all to do that. I don't want y'all doing that. Y'all see a lot of people cooking chicken and they'll use a fork and they'll start poking holes in it. They'll start using a knife slicing into it, trying to check if it's done. You don't want to do that. You're going to cause all the juices to leak out and you're going to wonder why it's dry. Now be honest, if you are guilty of anything I just named, comment I was guilty. And notice I said was, because now that you know better, you're gonna do better. Then I want you to come back to your comment with an update on how much better your chicken breast is. I want your comment sitting there as living proof that you didn't just watch this video, you actually implemented and stepped your cooking game up. And you never know, it might just get the next person who see your comment the motivation to do the same. But now, let's just get into it. I'm gonna walk you through start to finish on how to get some bomb pan seared chicken breast, y'all. So here's the chicken breast that I already got trimmed and cleaned, and we're just going to get this patted dry. We just want to get some of that excess moisture removed so that when we salt this, we can season it evenly and we can see where we're actually salting. If it was like a lot of moisture on here, it would dissolve the salt immediately and we couldn't really see what we're doing. And we're using Diamond Crystal Kosher salt, y'all. If you're not using this already, go ahead and make the switch. Now when salting this chicken, I'm only going to salt one side. That's going to be this open flesh side. We're not salting the smooth side. This side is going to take that salt in much better and help season the chicken throughout. This smooth side just doesn't get the salt the same access to the meat. As you can see, I laid this smooth side down, flesh side up. I'm gonna leave it laid just like this while it comes up the room temp. So what the salt is gonna do is draw moisture out, then that salt is gonna dissolve in that moisture. That moisture is then gonna reabsorb it to that meat, and that's how you get meat that is seasoned from the inside out. Now, if you want the best results, you're gonna do this overnight. You're gonna salt it, put it back in the refrigerator, and let it work overnight. And if you're cooking the same day, you can also do the same process a few hours before. Those are my preferred methods because I need the best flavor, period. But if dinner is happening like right now, you can still use this method. You're gonna salt the chicken while it's still cold right after you prep it. Then as that meat is coming up to room temp over the next 20 to 25 minutes, you wanna give the salt some time to do its thing. Now, it's not gonna be as deeply seasoned as the overnight method or the few hours before method, but it's going to be more seasoned than if you just sprinkle some salt on top and sear it. But let's get into one of my non-negotiables, which is bringing up this meat to room temperature. I always bring my meats up to room temperature before I cook it. That's just my personal preference. I don't care what the restaurants do. I like doing it because it helps the chicken cook more evenly. It reduces the chances of there being cold spots, and you just get that chicken that's really cooked to perfection. All right, our chicken is pretty much at room temperature now, so this is where we're going to begin to even out our thickness. Now, as you can see, this chicken is thicker at the bottom and slimmer towards the top. So what we're going to do is pound out towards the bottom so that it can match the thickness of the top. You don't want to just go crazy pounding this whole chicken breast out, because it's not going to be even if you do that. All you're trying to do is get the chicken to be an even thickness all the way across. And this is a close-up of it. This is the thicker side. This is the thinner side. We're going to get it pounded out so that it matches the thinner side. And you know, typically you can use a meat mallet, but you can be ghetto like me and use your rolling pin. I don't know why I didn't buy a new meat mallet yet. I just didn't, but this gets the job done too. And as you can see, this thicker side is starting to flatten out more and match the thinner side. So we just want to get it pounded just a little bit more until it's like a good consistency. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, but it should be, you know, close. As you can see, that chicken is pounded out and way more even than it was before, so it's going to cook way better this way. Now, before we add our final layer of seasoning, you want to go ahead and pat your chicken breast dry if it has like a lot of moisture on it. The reason why you want to pat it dry is because we're about to sear this chicken. Moisture is going to cause that chicken to steam and not sear. Now we're going to add just a little bit of avocado oil on our chicken. It's not going to make it greasy or anything. It's just going to help your seasoning stick better. And I know you're probably thinking, like, why dry it just to add oil? Y'all, water and oil is not built the same. Water is going to create steam. Oil is going to help us get a good sear. And I'm not showing y'all any specific seasoning today because the seasoning you use is based upon the recipe you're making. But I will say you don't need to use any more salt. And if you want to use a seasoning blend, you really don't need to go heavy with no seasoning blend, especially after seasoning your chicken with the salt throughout, because seasoning blends contain salt, and if you season it too heavy, you're gonna have some salty chicken. So just do a light layer if you're gonna use a seasoning blend too. We got our chicken seasoned and we about to get it seared off. And I'm telling you, if you seasoned it correctly, you do not need a lot of seasoning on this chicken. All right, y'all, so we about to sear our chicken, but I just want to explain everything real quick. So when searing your chicken, you want to make sure you get that golden brown crust on it. And in order for your chicken to get that crust, you need to make sure your pan is hot enough. You want your pan to be like around 375, 400. On your stove, that's going to be a medium high heat. Me personally, I like to use my infrared thermometer for accuracy. I don't know, I'm just like that. I can't really tell what the actual temperature is just by moving a dial. So I use this just to check the accuracy. And when I press a button, it's going to scan this pan and it's going to tell me how hot this pan is. Right now, it's just reading 72 degrees, which is basically like room temperature. This will be linked below if you want the link to this thermometer, as well as everything else in this video too. So you don't have to ask for the links for anything. But what else? Now when it comes to searing my chicken, I like to use a mixture of avocado oil and butter. The butter is going to give it a whole bunch of flavor, and then avocado oil helps the butter not burn so quickly. Y'all, you can also use ghee. Ghee is basically butter with most of the dairy removed from it. That dairy is what makes your butter burn, but since ghee has removed most of it, it has a pretty high smoke point. But let's get into the searer. What I'm going to do is heat up my pan first. Once this pan is at the temperature I want it, I'm going to add in my avocado oil. Once that avocado oil starts to shimmer a little bit, I'm going to add in my butter last, right before we add the chicken. You want to add the butter last and make sure it gets nice and bubbly, and then add the chicken in. The reason you want to add the butter last is because you want to make sure it does not burn. Checking the temperature of my pan is around 390, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this chicken seared off. But y'all, what I like to do is check it as it cooks. And if there's no oil under this chicken, I'll make sure I'll go ahead and put some under there, because that oil is what's helping to get a good nice sear. People think your fire gotta be scorching hot for a good sear. It don't. Like, it's nothing burning. It's just getting a nice good sear on it.
see, winner chicken dinner. And y'all, you just gonna baste it. You want to get that butter on top to keep it nice, moist, and juicy. And this chicken should just be about done, to be honest. It only need a few minutes on the other side. So I'm gonna pull this around 155, maybe 160-ish, and the carryover heat is gonna continue to cook it.
You see that Sear, y'all? That's what I'm saying. See what I'm saying?
And we're gonna let this chicken rest a minimum of 5 minutes. You wanna give it time to lock in all those juices.
Now that you know how to make the perfect chicken breast, let me show you how to use chicken breast to make one of my favorite LongHorn dishes. It's my copycat recipe for the LongHorn Parmesan crusted chicken. I promise if I was trying to show off my cooking skills for somebody, this is probably one of the dishes I would make. It's just so good, y'all. So make sure you subscribe and you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss when that video drops. And if you're watching this video after they're already released, it should be right here.